It is very clear just a few days into this portal cycle that Auburn is intentional, especially offensively. I mean, the additions that they are making to their team, to their roster for 2025 shows a high degree of intentionality, and we're going to talk about it today on Village Vice. He's Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law. This show and every episode of Village Vice is brought to you by mybookie.ag. Couple of promo codes we need you to keep in mind, all right? Pay attention. Are you paying attention, or are you just doing stuff, screwing around in the background? Pay attention.
Quit screwing around.
If you use the promo code next round, you're going to get a 50% sign-up bonus for the sports book. That's for the sports book. Next round, 50% sign-up bonus. If you prefer the casino, or if you want both, TNR Casino is the code to use. TNR Casino. That'll get you a 300% sign-up bonus in a casino. So check it out and thrive with mybookie.ag. Yeah. Okay. Zach, since last we talked, a lot has happened, including Ashton Daniels, the Stanford quarterback, announcing that he will be an Auburn Tiger. So there's another quarterback in the quarterback room. You needed another guy, and Auburn got one in a dual threat, experienced starter.
Yeah, I can't imagine a quarterback room that's changed more in the last few weeks than Auburn has. I mean, they lose everybody that they currently had, all four of their scholarship quarterbacks, either graduation or to the portal. And then they add Jackson Arnold, of course, and then Ashton Daniels. And look, Ashton Daniels was tied to Auburn very quickly. As soon as Hank Brown officially jumped into the portal or announced that he would jump into the portal, you heard a lot of reports of Auburn eyeing Ashton Daniels to come in and be that experienced backup. But we've talked about this before, Brad, when we were talking about somebody who you would need to come in, because Auburn, from the get-go, before maybe a few potential surprises of guys jumping in the portal, they needed to add two. And it was always going to be tricky because you don't want your backup guy to be young. And that may change now a little bit, but obviously not because Ashton Daniels is in the boat. But you wanted a guy that had, 1 year left of eligibility, but was also like somewhat proven and experienced and, could be a guy in that room. And like, is Ashton Daniels' track record perfect? No. I mean, he's been an up and down quarterback at Stanford, but I do think as a backup quarterback, he's checked all those boxes that we kind of talked about of what you want. Ashton Daniels isn't going to be where the offense starts and ends. He's not. But does he make the room better? Does he make the team better? Does he allow you to do more in practice because he's a guy who's played a lot of college football and he's going to be able to understand this offense quickly? Yeah, I think so. So I like the move. I don't think Auburn fans are going to see a whole lot of Ashton Daniels, but I do think this is the kind of move that makes the quarterback room better.
Yeah, and it fits well with the culture. I love this quote, and I want to give credit. Where did I find this? I think Jeffrey Lee put this quote out on X. Yeah, said, this is quoting Ashton Daniels. You, the fans, are going to get someone who's going to put in work every single day, not only to make myself better, but to make this team better. I'm excited for it. So, boy, guys,
exactly what you need.
Yeah,
exactly what you need.
That's leadership. That is the right attitude. That's a culture fit. That is, you do want to improve yourself, but you want to do whatever your part is, right? That doesn't sound like if I'm not the starter, I'm all of a sudden going to have my effort fall off. That is, I'll do whatever it takes to make myself better and the team better. And that quote really stood out.
Yeah. And I think that kind of embodies everything that you look at. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Auburn now has 3 scholarship quarterbacks signed. Jackson Arnold, Ashton Daniels, Deuce Knight from high school. I assume that's going to be the depth chart starting spring.
Yeah.
Which room would you rather have? Because there's so much panic. There's so much panic about, Walker White leaving and there wasn't a whole lot of panic about Hank, but you definitely saw when Walker entered the portal. Would you rather have this room or the room of Peyton, Hank, Holden, and Walker? Which room would you rather have?
This room.
It's not even close.
No, it's not close. I love this question. What a great question. No, you have 2 5-star quarterbacks on the roster, plus a guy that started for a couple of years and has major conference experience and 2,400 yards and 13 touchdowns last year as a dual threat guy. I mean, like everybody fits the system. And if you're getting down anyway to your third or fourth quarterback in a room, you're in trouble, period. So I think that's awesome perspective, Zach. This room, hands down, is the one that I would take. There's more experience in the room, and there's a higher ceiling in the room.
Now, let me add the caveat. I do think it's wrong to go into the season with just 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with playing time. It has everything to do with running practice and running a program. You and I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And so when folks say, oh, well, what about Sam Jackson? He can just be the 4th quarterback. I'm like, okay, maybe if the quarterback room just everybody gets hurt and you need to game plan something, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe like do you do that over like a walk-on that maybe gets elevated?
Right.
But you still need to run practice. You know, you need arms that can run practice at a high level. And maybe they feel like they have that in a walk-on.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're too excited about that option, but maybe they have a guy they feel good about there. But I don't know who you add. Like, I don't know if like there's not many Ashton Daniels in the portal. They're going to be able to have that mindset. That's just not where college football is right now. Whether that's good or bad, we can have that discussion another time. So I don't know what they do about the 4th quarterback, but to act like it's just okay to go into the season with 3 quarterbacks and then everybody throwing out that Sam Jackson be your emergency 4th, that's fine in a game.
Yes.
That's not, but we're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice, not a game.
Practice.
Not a game. Practice. No, is it a Jackson Barkley or a John Colvin? I mean, those are a couple of the walk-ons that were in the room last year. And again, just for the logistics of running practice, that seems to me to make the most sense as opposed to, because again, if you're getting to your 4th guy in a game, buddy, it's gone downhill too fast. You got bigger issues. So I guess you don't. That would be the biggest issue, but you got issues. So I like the room. I like what they've done.
I like it too. I like it too. I like it from an upside standpoint. I think the floor is low, but the ceiling is tremendously high. Tremendously high.
You know, I'm not as sold on the floor being as low.
Can I amend that statement?
Yeah.
I think the floor of the offense is low, and it actually doesn't have anything to do with the quarterbacks. It's just me not trusting the scheme at this point.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm going to make a comparison, and this is not a player comparison. This is I don't know I don't know 1 or 2 words to describe what kind of comparison it is. But I want to go to Chris Todd.
Okay.
Chris Todd in 2008. Without a real clear, like the offense was a problem from the standpoint of the identity of the offense. Okay. So in 2008, Chris Todd completed 55% of his passes for 903 yards. He had a 5-6 touchdown to interception ratio. He's in a different offense in 2009. Same team, pretty similar personnel, but the offense was it was a much more clear identity in 2009. Chris Todd then completes over 60% of his passes, a jump of 5%. His yardage triples, and his touchdown to interception ratio goes from 5-6 to 22-6. Sometimes having a clearly established offensive identity in which you fit well can be a huge difference in terms of productivity. And
that
you're a year old
team is forgotten a lot about. It was a fun team. That was a fun team. Ben Tate was crazy on that team too. We've talked about him in the past, but
that was Ben Tate, team. Mario Fannin in 2008, 2009. I mean, you had some guys.
Yeah.
In 2009, there were a couple of games where they sputtered offensively. They sputtered against Kentucky. Got out to the 14-0 lead on Alabama, were it not for a series of pick plays on the final drive, would have upset Alabama in that game.
Yes.
But
was that the Terrell Zachary end around where he busted it like second touchdown? That was crazy.
Yeah. And they hit a double move that was wide open. I mean, that was a fun start for sure. Cool. So yeah, we're on the same page with this quarterback room. It's like I get the concern, and like I know Auburn fans love Walker White, and I love Walker White, and every time I've talked to him, he's been super respectful and a great guy. And I wish him nothing but the best. But to say like
that this quarterback room isn't better than it was a year ago, I think would be wrong.
Yeah.
I think it would be
I
wrong.
agree.
I think it'd be wrong.
And I'll say this too about Hugh Freeze he's never hidden the fact that, and has said this directly to his team, that he'll try to recruit over guys every year. That's the mission.
Yeah.
And so I don't think Walker had an issue with being recruited over or competition in the room or anything like that. That's just in play. That's what you do. That's life.
Yeah, and I'm curious to
football.
see. I'm curious to see where Walker ends up. I think
too.
that's going to answer some questions on maybe why he left, depending on where he goes. But we'll see. We'll see. You talk about being intentional on the offense. What's happened on the offensive line is tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous, and we'll discuss that in just a moment here on Village Vice. Brad, you're like the most handsome man I've ever seen. But the only way you can take it a step further is when you sport the Roback gear. Yeah. And if you're watching this, you're like, man, I want to be as handsome as Brad Law. How do I do that? Or if you're a woman watching, and you're like, I want my man to look like Brad Law. Head over to roback.com. Instant upgrade, RHOBACK.com, roback.com. They've got the best collared shirts, the best quarter zips, the best hoodies. Every time I put on Roback gear, I think, gosh, I'm getting closer to Brad Law. And that's all Zach, I really, Brad, hold on. And that's all I really want to be, is I just want to be like Brad Law. Handsome, stoic, heroic, handsome, incredibly legendary status. And you can do that by going to roback.com. Check out their expansive collection, their catalog. It's great. You'll just think Brad Law the whole time. The whole time. Use promo code VICE20 to get 20% off your order, and you can be closer to being like Brad Law.
That's what happens when I write the scripts for our ad copy. That was really well done. I mean, I thought that was honest. It was a real earnest delivery, and I appreciate that.
It was raw. That's how I would describe it. Just raw.
We have a basketball game tonight, so I'm in game day attire. Plus,
I don't like Brad Law.
I don't always wear Roback on the show because I don't want to melt the screen. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? I want to keep.
Yeah.
I want everybody to be intact and able to function for the rest of their day. Do you understand?
How do you think Roback would feel like? Roback, be raw like Brad Law. Use promo code VICE20 at roback.com.
We've discussed it, but the fee is so high that they would pay me. Like we'll get there. But
still in negotiations.
Yeah. Don't blow it for me, Zach.
All right, sorry about that. Okay. I just gave it away for free. So sorry. Hey, so report surfacing that Mason Murphy has signed with Auburn. He is the presumed favorite to be Auburn's right tackle this year. He played at right tackle at USC last year, 1 year left of eligibility. So when you look at what Auburn's done, they get their left tackle, they get their right tackle, and they bring Dylan Wade back to play guard. Wow.
And Connor Liu is just the steady. You feel like he's going to play center for a decade there. He's not. He's only got a year or two left, but
right.
But maybe the best center in the SEC. Yeah, your offensive line again. I don't know. I didn't think the line was bad last year.
You and I are on an island with that take, but I agree with you.
But it is very clear that the coaching staff said, we don't want to just be not bad. We don't want to be fine. We want to improve. So they go out and they get a guy with All-American potential in Xavier Chaplin, who we talked about on yesterday's show. And now you go get Big Murph from USC. And look,
let's know what people call him. Do they call him Big Murph?
That's what he calls himself on social media.
He calls himself Big Murph?
That's his handle on social media.
Do we like that?
Big Murph.
Well, I either love it or hate it. I think I love it.
I'm in the love camp, yeah. I mean, look, let's be real, depends on how he plays. Because that's our society, is how good are you? That'll determine how we feel about your name.
Yeah. True.
And let's also be pretty clear about this. There were some mixed reviews from USC fans about his play throughout the year.
Yeah, they're not sad to see him go.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
If you'd like, you could chalk that up to coaching. You could chalk it up to change of scenery can do a guy a lot of good. I think he's brought in, and he and Tyler Johnson will have a pretty good battle. I think either he is the starter because he wins a battle with Tyler Johnson, or he's insurance at the like worst case scenario.
That's right.
He's a big, experienced, capable insurance policy.
Yeah, and he's been able to play both tackles and some guard at USC. So once again, worst case, yeah, like you said, he's the backup at both tackle spots.
Yeah.
Or, you could have the discussion of if Murphy and Tyler Johnson are so good, could you potentially scoot Murphy inside and let him compete with Jeremiah Wright? Like, it's better to have him than to not. Like, there's no argument you can make against this guy to say it's not better. And also, like, we talked about this with quarterback. You can only deal with what the market bears.
Yeah.
And right now, Chaplin was the number 1 offensive tackle to enter the portal. Murphy was 2 in several of the rankings that I saw. So it's like, okay, like whatever. Like if he's the second best option out there, like let's get him. Let's get him. So I have no issues with it at all. And also, like, USC folks, they seem to be mad about everything all the time. Like nobody's ever good enough. Like they were kind of going after Caleb Williams the year after he won the Heisman. It's like, what are y'all doing? What y'all doing over there?
Yeah.
So
this ain't the Pete Carroll, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart days anymore at USC.
Yeah, and they want it to be, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I would want it to be too, but I don't think it's I don't think it's some major concern that USC folks are happy to see him go.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more on the offensive line too, and we've seen all these guards come in for visits. So
I don't think the staff was sold Wade was coming back.
Yeah. Do you think that they've backed off some of those portal guys now that Dylan?
Okay. I do. They may have like a few guys that they think are just can't miss guys, and you got to get them in the boat. But I think if you count Wade as an addition,
okay.
I don't know, Brad. Like how many scholarship guys are we at? Let's see. Let's just do this on the fly real quick.
Okay.
Because he said before 16 is his number.
Okay.
Percy's gone. So we got Jeremiah Wright. You keep track. Jeremiah Wright. Jaden Muskrat is gone, correct? I think he is. Tate Johnson, 2.
Okay.
Dylan Wade.
Okay.
DJ Harris is gone. Connor Lou, excuse me. Seth Wilfred. Clay Whedon left, right?
Did he?
Thought so.
Okay. I'm clearly not as up to speed on this as I thought. I didn't know that Clay Whedon left.
Maybe he didn't.
Okay.
Maybe I'm tripping.
Okay. He hasn't played yet, but I haven't seen anything that, that would indicate that he's leaving.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, so Clay Whedon, Braden Joyner, Tyler Johnson.
It's up to 8.
Dylan Cinda.
Okay.
DeAndre Carter.
10.
Favor Edwin.
Okay.
What are we at?
11.
We're at 11.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then Auburn 2025.
You have Dylan Cinda already?
Yeah, said him.
Okay. Sorry.
Nope, you're good. You're good.
Your 2 new tackles.
Yeah. So the 2 transfers. So that puts us at what?
13.
Broderick Scholl.
14.
Ty Buster.
15.
Cale Ellis.
16.
Jacoby Ward.
17. So your room's full. If you're aiming for 16.
If I had to guess, they don't add an interior lineman via the portal. If I had to guess.
Okay.
And that's just counting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right. It makes me wonder because I'd love to know the inside. Like I'd love to be a fly on the wall in some of these conversations. Do you bring in guys like how much I guess it wouldn't make much sense now that I say that out loud for Dylan Wade's decision to have had anything to do with Auburn bringing in like Dylan had to know that, if he's out, then the coaches needed to have a plan. And I like that they had a plan. I love that they were bringing guys in and that they were, they were making contingencies for what the roster could look like without Dylan Wade coming back. I mean, their approach to the portal this year has been very different from the first 2 off-season cycles. And I think that's pretty optimistic. Like you know what they're acting like? They're acting like Auburn is a national brand and should be competing at the very top, and they need to go out and do whatever they need to do to have the roster they need in 25. It shows that 25 is a pivotal year, and they need to be loaded up.
Yeah, they're all in. They're going to have the talent for it.
Yeah.
They're going to have the talent to compete. I know that was kind of an excuse last year, but it's like you can't make that excuse anymore. Like you've been given a tremendous budget.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very expensive roster. Go win.
Yeah. We didn't even get into the 2 defensive additions. The secondary has added a couple of guys with experience and some size there. Kind of like that.
A corner named Rayon Strader. Like, are you kidding me? How cool is that?
Yeah.
Thrown at a bunch at Miami of Ohio.
He's going to hit you so hard you can't see straighter.
All right. I think that does it for today's show.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I can't help myself. Thanks, everybody, for going to thebarnauburn.com and signing up and following all the portal.
The portal mega thread. It's insane.
Yeah. Just get on the portal mega thread and hang out there. See how much time you spend. It's thebarnauburn.com. Thanks for subscribing to this channel. Remember, until next time, everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.